Welcome to another episode of Word of Mouth. I'm your co-host, Monica, and we got the man of the hour, Mr. DJ Battlecat.
Hey, welcome to Word of Mouth Podcast. Like she said, this is the legendary DJ Battlecat, and we have a new exciting episode that you're going to love. This is out of the city of California, Inglewood. You feel me? And speaking of Inglewood, we want to bring to you a unique, talented individual who is our next leader in entertainment and just in life in general. You know what I'm saying? And so, lady, let me just bring him to the table. That be my man, D Smoke, Grammy-nominated artist and producer extraordinary, my boy. Woo!
It's an honor having you here.
Welcome,
Thank
man.
Yes.
So, this is different, man. This is unique, and I'm gonna hand this first question over. And before I do, man, I just want to say, man, thank you for your contribution to music and life, and being the leader that you are. This is I never seen this coming, you know, but it's to be expected, and to be embraced to the public as well, because a lot of people don't know my relationship to you, and I just want to educate the youth, the new youth, the grown and the new generation that's here. They just need to really see really who you are and where you're going and what you're about.
Absolutely.
Right.
Man, I got to go ahead and before we get into it, I just got to say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we going to tell the story, you know, I ran up on DJ Battlecat at a restaurant because I seen him. I knew exactly who he was. This is before the show, before everything. And I was basically like, hey, look, man, you know, I'm a kid from Inglewood. I rap. I know exactly who you are. You know, some people have worked with some people that I know and love.
Yes.
And
yes.
And I'm doing some different things in music, and that I think I want you to check out. And then you was like, you gave me your number.
Yes.
And once I sent over the files and stuff, you got back with me. You know, he played it for his wife. And was it your daughter?
Yes.
He played it for his wife and his daughter. And he was
Kiara.
like, they love it. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, that's the true test. And then next thing you know, he was sending me the beat so that I could post something that eventually got the world's attention and landed me to get on the show and the whole nine. So, you know, DJ Battlecat positioned me. You feel me? So,
wow.
So, yeah, that's
amazing.
why I'm here. You know, it don't matter if he hit me, I'm showing up. So we here.
Man.
Right. So that actually brings me to, when did you discover music?
Oof.
And what did that, like, how did it partake in your life growing up?
Got you. Man, I can't say I ever discovered music. You know, it was already there. It was always around me. You know, Mom's was a minister of music, is a minister of music. So in the household, I would just hear her playing and singing, preparing to go, you know, lead worship at a church. And
powerful.
And then it went from us just watching her do that to her sitting us around the piano as young boys. She had 3 sons back to back to back. So we was 4, 5, and 6.
Tough.
Know, and she was teaching us harmonies, teaching us where middle C is, what a major chord is, minor, diminished, you know, just teaching us all this music theory. And so that's as early as 6 years old. Like, I learned my first classical piece at 6 years old.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and
then
a
just kept growing and stuff from there. The last thing, keep it 100, the last thing I learned how to do was rap. And I'm still getting better. You feel me? So, it was just always music. It was playing keys. It was singing with my brothers. It was writing music, you know. So, we were even signed to DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, yes.
At like 11, 12, and 13. So we were signed by Gerald Busby, who also worked with Boys to Men.
Right.
You know, so
big shout out to Gerald Busby.
Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying?
Man, who you telling?
We were signed by him. We were supposed to be like the Young Jackson 5,
the
Ferris 3. You feel me? So, but when he got sick and all his acts got dropped, we got to have a regular childhood. So I've been doing music all my life. You know.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, which leads to my next question. What power do you think music has today? Or what you let me rephrase that. What powers do you think music has an effect in this industry? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Man, music, it's especially as black people, it's our it's like the lifeblood. It's the water. It's our culture. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's what really shapes how we view ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We put out music, and then people say these words, and I believe in the power of words, right? So if I say I'm dope, I'm strong,
speaking
I can
it
take
into
it.
Existence.
You know, that's the attitude I'm gonna have when I step outside. If I say I'm sad, I'm heartbroken, and that's the only thing I'm listening to, I'm gonna be a sad, heartbroken dude.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think as a culture, one thing we can do better at is taking responsibility or making music with intention. You know, we got to find, everybody got to strike that balance, because we all are living our dream, right?
Yes, we are.
So we
yes,
all got to
we
be like,
yes,
we all got to be like, how do I make ends meet? How do I make this make money? How do I make it lucrative?
Yes.
Right? But at the same time, it's like, how do I do that while I'm sneaking in you know what I'm saying? It's like a vegan chef. You know what I'm saying? You cooking for somebody that's used to eating meat.
Right.
How well can you prepare this meal so that your introduction to them is like, yeah, you didn't know it had that flavor on that stuff that's good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we know we could fry something up and dip it in ranch and it's gonna be fire, right? we could do that with our eyes closed, like seasoned salt, little garlic powder, some pepper, boom, deep fry it, dip it in ranch, it's fire. You could deep fry anything and it's fire if you dip it in ranch. Right. However, if your goal is also to feed the people and nourish the people, you gotta be that much more masterful at putting it together in a way that's gonna make people grow. You know what I'm saying? And not all music is designed to make people grow. Not all music even cares what the effect is.
Wow.
Right.
So,
that part.
Well, I never
it's
looked
that
at
touch on it.
Yeah,
exactly, that last touch.
Right.
Man, I never looked at that perspective. And man, that's crazy. That is so crazy that you feel that way and have had the experience to get clarification of such a moment in time and those type of experiences. Which leads up to another question I had. You know, there's so much love in your heart. I'm pretty sure the people out there is curious too, that had come to love you and as well as respect your craft. But I'm pretty sure the ladies would want to know: have you found love in this journey of yours in music?
Absolutely. I come from love, so love attracts love. My family is a very loving family. You feel me? I got beautiful relationships with everybody in my family, even when we at odds. And so, you know, I've had my ups and downs in, you know, relationships throughout my 20s and my 30s even, you know. But, you know, I'm in a good place with a good lady, you feel me? So let's go ahead and say that.
Wow.
That's a blessing.
You feel me?
Right.
A lot of them gonna be mad out there.
Yeah.
Answer this question. They gonna be mad, but it's the truth. You feel me?
It say a lot about why your songs reflect like they do, and I'm so glad that you shared that with us. And the people, I'm pretty sure, is intrigued and is going to embrace and respect. Hopefully, the most of them will respect your space and the fact that you found love. And glad that you come from that, because your subject matters and titles. That's what I was trying to get out. Is so important to them. And I see how your fans and followers has, you know, just cling to you so much. You know, seeing you interact with people, you know, on television and different different people that you have seen in your lifetime, man. So I'm glad that stands so strong and thorough through your career, man.
Absolutely,
man.
It's key. Like the goal is to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
If you honest, it's not wrong. You know, a kid has a desire to be exposed to the truth, even when the truth isn't pretty. You know what I'm saying? If you're telling the honest version of it, if my truth is Inglewood, and that means on Manchester and Fifth Ave, when you get to that bus stop, you hope the 115 comes soon. Otherwise, you know what element you got to deal with. Then put that in the raps. But if I'm just out here like, you know, selling some glorified version of Inglewood that don't add the details, you know,
value.
Then you know what I'm saying. Then I'm slipping.
Yeah, you're doing. You're not doing your community a favor at all. Exactly. That's the word.
Yeah. Right. I feel like right now in our lives, right, in this time right now, we specifically need leaders, right?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever told you that you are a leader? And if so, have you ever had to be committed into that role of being a leader?
I think as early as like 6 years old is when people started telling me. But it came from like it wasn't so much you a leader first. It was like you got heart, and I took that as like the major compliment. Like Pops was locked up, so my mom's youngest brother, my Uncle Rich, he was like Pops, but he was only 6 years older than us. But his way of going about making sure we had heart and, you know, designing tests for us in our little ghetto ass apartment building was making us fight like damn near every kid around our size, our age. And at the time I was, you know, you're a kid, all you want to do is play sports, have fun. But so I didn't get it at the time. Okay. But it's not like I had a choice back then. So, you know, after being forced to fight and then realizing like, oh shoot, I win all my fights. You know, you look up and realize like, and then it starts to become a point of pride. So it wasn't like first you a leader. It was first like, hey, you got heart. Like you made for the challenge. And then you grow into different spaces in your life and realize like, dang, these people ain't built like that. They not built to step up to the plate. So then you step up to the plate. But by demonstrating that, people start to see that in themselves. So that's it was probably high school where I knew like, okay, I'm a leader. You know?
And it's a lot of responsibility to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow,
absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely. You the one that got to take the blame too. Win or lose. When you win, everybody's like, yay, you know.
But when you lose,
they like, it's your fault.
The fear factor is what comes to question at hand now that you speak on that, you know. In life, have you had any type of experience or even today being successful where you are? What is your biggest fear, or is it fear? You know, through your journey, or what would you say now?
I don't even like to call it fear, but one thing that I'm careful about now is like finances. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to make sure that I'm responsible by him because you know, I don't know if it's a scripture, but it's something like you accountable for what you know. You know, so now that I've had bread, lost bread, this and that, and now we in a position where it's like fame, money, this and that. Now I'm like, okay, how can I invest in a way that one helps other people and puts my family in a long-term beneficial position? Like, cause I wouldn't be, no matter what happens, if I looked up and years down the line, it's like, oh, he in trouble with the IRS. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no property to show for it, this and that. That's, you know, I wouldn't even say it's a fear because I'm taking the steps to make sure that that's not the case, but that's what I'm careful about. Like, hey, you know, I also like if we talking about fears, like with everything going on in LA, people getting shot and all that stuff. Like,
if I wasn't specific enough, I should have made that clear. But
I'm not too much worried about like if I go today, bro, I'm proud of what I did. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't want to experience, like anyone losing somebody younger than me that's close to me, because one, I feel like I'm supposed to like lay it down for them. Like, hey, if I should be able to stand in between the threat of danger for somebody younger than me, but so I could proudly be like, hey, bro, I did this. I lay it down so you can have your opportunity.
Right. Here's the blueprint.
But you know, like watching mothers lose their kids or people lose people younger than them, which happens all the time. We in LA, you know, and especially this year with, you know, the killing and Spike. You know, you the first person to hit me. Then I saw it on the news and all that stuff. Like, hey, bro, be careful how you move out here. It's going wild. You know, and you know, I'm a little bit removed because you know I'm not always in these streets no more. You know, as advised by people who love me and care about me. But you know, people out here having to live with the hurt of burying their younger family members and stuff, and that's not natural. You know, I think the human is supposed to, like, death is hard enough. Like, if I lost my grandma, it's like I'm still hurting. But grandma's supposed to go before me. And grandma's supposed to go before mom. Mom's supposed to go before me, not the younger generation.
You know, I remember that coming up as a kid, and now that I hear you reflect to that's where that old soul of yours is. And so I can see where you're resilient in what you believe and all the obstacles that, you know, that come your way, you know. So fear is like a sign of weak, you know. But I had to ask that question because people want to know what is your strength. Really, that should have been the question at hand, but I had to ask that, and I'm glad you was able to express that and reflect that through your music.
Thank you.
Now, I did hear that you were speaking of generational wealth. I heard that as you were talking about it. So, you know, right now, I guess in our society, especially the youth, they are so into the materialistic, right? Whatever's just tangible for them, like the Birkin bags, the the iciness on their wrists, on their, you know, on their necks, like that to them is more important than generational wealth. But I heard you speak on it. So can you elaborate on what steps you're taking in order for you to build that generational wealth for you and your family?
Well, one, I'm just careful about what investments I make. Each one, you got to look at it for what it is, weigh out the financials, all those things, and then move accordingly. But one thing that I'm excited about is Broadway Boxing Gym, the gym that I came up in boxing. I announced fights there. I fought there. I won there. You know what I'm saying? I sparred there against pros and all that. And I built relationships with the owner who recently passed. Her name was Miss Larkins.
Miss Larkins, rest in peace.
Rest
man.
in peace, Miss Larkins. And she for sure loved. She was a mother to the people that came through there, loved people like her own, and chastised people like her own, too. Like, you're not going to disrespect this gym, because she knew what value it had. So she passed, and now they're looking to sell the gym. Some people are interested in it as just a property. Others are like, no, we know what this means to the community. And we're the ones that are like, look, we're telling the people that are selling it, like, I don't know what your connection is to. I mean, because they're like relatives of the owner. Like, you may not be emotionally attached to this gym, but thousands of people are. And if you have the option to sell it to somebody that understands it and wants to preserve what it means to the community, do that. To not do that is a crime, because you have the option. So we're just being aggressive about me and David Gross, who did a lot of investments with Nipsey Hussle. They were partners in so much.
Wow.
And he's just so much on the forefront of what it means to buy the community, own the community, and allow people in the community to have a stake in it. So Broadway Boxing Gym, that investment is something that I'm super excited about, as well as, you know, a little property that I'm purchasing somewhere far for the family. On Caribbean sands, you know what I'm saying? Like, for the family and it's just the land right now so we're buying that and are gonna, build that from the ground up. So those are two things I'm super excited about, that no matter what happens, I can look back and be like, okay, we set this up so that, we got somewhere to go, both in the community. Because Broadway is special. Like, I always think, like, there are certain gyms, like you and I, we grew up similar in that, like, we from the hood. You know what I'm saying? We from different hoods, but it took me going to UCLA to realize, like, if you from the hood, whether you blue or red, you more alike than you are somebody that don't know nothing about the hood, right?
Exactly.
So that's our experience, right? So there's a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, unorthodox wisdom that you get from growing up like that. And part of, me looking in the future, it's like, I want future generations to be able to get that in a safe space, right? Without having to worry about getting shot, without having to worry about somebody banging on you, sweating you, robbing you and stuff, but you can still get that wealth. And that's kind of what the boxing gym represents. You could have people from Beverly Hills come to Broadway, and they're going to get treated with respect from people who they didn't know would show them love, Like, now those same people, if they saw them out of bounds, and they might be like, hey, man, you should leave, But in the gym, you can get all that same hood wisdom, love, camaraderie, brotherhood, without the threat of, like, is this going to be my last moment? You know what I'm saying? So,
and that actually ends up tying into how important mental health is into the music industry, or any industry in general, but how important it is to you. Oh, man.
Man, I've been tried. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm big on, because, they call me D-Smoke. I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? And I'm big on giving people the option of sobriety. Like, we talk about mental health a lot of times as if it's an isolated thing.
Like it's taboo.
Alienated.
People arrive at those places of like mental disorder or mental imbalance, and a lot of times it's so, in our community, I've seen it myself, it's so connected to substance, you know what I'm saying, substance abuse, you know, so that's, and the artist community is one of the main proponents of promoting substance abuse, and we just gotta be frank about it, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, whether it's a drink or smoking or pills or all that shit, and our communities a lot of times suffer as a result. So I don't mean to sound preachy or no square, you know what I'm saying, but you know, that's one of those things that I'm passionate about, at least giving people the option, like, because people think you're supposed to just because, like, you're supposed to smoke because you do music, you're supposed to drink because you're going out. Like, the option of being like, nah, I don't.
It's there, but you don't have to.
Exactly. Tony, you know Tony Baker. Yeah. Tony Baker said, that's the homie, hilarious dude. Tony Baker said, if I sat up here and was like, I don't drink water, I just soda, nobody's going to flinch. Like, all right, get him a soda. Right?
That part.
But if he goes somewhere and he's like, I don't drink liquor, niggas like, you don't do what? You don't drink?
Yeah, the
expectation. What's wrong with this dude? You know what I'm saying?
Perception is something, man.
Exactly. Right. So just that option, man, because I think that's the main thing about mental health, and because sometimes those things rewire how your brain operates, and once you know, a pickle can go back to being a cucumber. You know what I'm saying? Once you expose your mind to that, you're, even when you're sober, you forever battling those demons, you feel me? So,
wow, I'm glad you mentioned that.
That's a different perspective. Yeah. That's a different perspective.
Mental health. I mean, and then some people just, they different. They operate different up here. But, you know, some things rewire how your brain works, you know.
Which brings me to another relevant question to that testimony. And growing up in the neighborhood, what is your focus and resources in avoiding pitfalls of the streets of Inglewood? Man.
It's just certain rules that I live by when moving through the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, my uncle told me, he told me, do it moving.
Do it moving.
Like,
man,
you just do it so moving. Times. Like, man, because I you know, I mess with people in the hood. Like, man, I show love. It's important to me to actually engage with people in my neighborhood. So I'll come through, be like, hey, what's up, man? It's good to see you, man. How you been? Man, oh, boom, for sure. Oh, y'all good? Solid, man. I'm about to grab this tea. Bam. Good seeing y'all. Hey, man, make sure you tell your homie I said love, man. Check in. When he get out, you know, holla at me, boom, boom, boom. All right, peace. Yeah, you know, and I'm gone. Do it moving.
That cold and that
check
culture.
In, and it's respect. Because the moments, you can make moments count without overstaying your welcome. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you know you're here to do something, you know, you got to protect that at all costs. So that, do it moving. Another way, I just stay out of trouble. Like, the crazy thing is, you safer when you confront it. Like, when you don't run from it. Because running, I was even watching, the hood is like being in nature, right? I was watching a nature show or some about bears. Like, if you run from a bear, you'll trigger a predatory instinct, right? So in the same sense, in the hood, they sense that fear and they own you more, right?
Right.
Whereas if you there and you like, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Right.
Straight up, like, man, pleasure to meet you, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
Right.
Not only did you address them and show the respect,
yes,
but you also show that it's like, hey, I'm rooting for you. You know, I'm not threatened by you. Y'all be blessed. I'll be in foreign hoods where I don't know nobody. But if I see him and I know it's that element, I'm speaking.
Right.
And it's simple. Most people try to avoid them, and it triggers that instinct in the same way that running from a predator would.
Exactly.
True,
so I'm head on.
Right.
Yeah,
you safer head on. And the craziest thing, I was telling somebody the other day, one time we walking through this hood, and it's several, you know, Inglewood is a predominantly blood city, but there's several Crip neighborhoods in Inglewood, right? So we're walking through this Crip neighborhood in Inglewood. Most of us got on blue, right? And the one homie got on red. Meanwhile, we telling him, like, bro, you about to get us sweated, right? Soon as that happened, this car pulls down the street, swerve. And we thinking they doing donuts. So we just stop and look like, oh, okay, that's dope. Little car show. Man, they sit up on the outside windowsill and they just start banging. This, do-do-do-do-do-do, F this, F. They do this banging, right? And then we looking around thinking like, who they
Who they talking to?
And we're like, oh, shoot, they sweat, they on us, right? But it never, because we knew we ain't that, it never clicked. It happened so fast, it never clicked on us that we probably should run. So nobody ran. We just looked at them, right? Like, wait a minute, just because it happened so quick, like who, us? And then a couple of us just were like, nah, like, hey, bro, that's not us, right? But with that looking at us in their eyes, they're no more than 20 feet from us. We're looking at them in their eyes, and then I look at one of them, and I'm like, oh, shoot, bro, I know you. Like, in my head, I'm like, I know you. So we just lock in, and I'm like, what's up? Like, hey. And then he panics, right? He panics because they was just about to start busting. He panics like, no, blood, no, that ain't them. Right, no. Reaching, grabbing the niggas, trying to pull them back in the car, like, no. You know, so then they get back in the car. The driver swerves off. The one dude who didn't know us, he was still hanging out the car, trying, like ready to go off. So even as they pulled off, he's still banging. But the thing was, we looked at him in the eyes the whole time. Right. Like if they'd have been like, and then we just turned and broke, it'd have just been, somebody would have got caught, couldn't identify, they'd whoop, whoop. It'd have just turned into that. But like it takes a different kind of
survival instincts.
Man, it takes a different kind of instinct, and it also takes a different kind of man to look you in your eyes, not know you, have every opportunity to identify you, and still do some dirt. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's part of it is address it, confront it.
I get it.
You know, but that only works if your spirit is right. If your spirit ain't right and you confronted it, you just confirming what they already know or what they already think. So.
Another form of G code.
You
know what you stand for. I get it. It's all hand in hand, man.
Right. Now, if the White House or anybody else were to give you the platform to deliver a message to us, what would that be?
Oh, the platform to deliver a message. I would say seek God, seek wisdom first. You know, seek God, seek wisdom first. Anybody who, just like I said, the power of words. If you ever say like if I certain things I pray every day, you know, like God give me wisdom. Like if I'm asking for it and I'm expecting it, then every encounter I have throughout that day is an opportunity for me to gain that. Whereas if I start off my day complaining, then even it's blessings walking by me and I won't even see it. You feel me? So that's like one main thing. Be positive. Keep your head up. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You got this. Wow. You feel me? Like, I don't know. I just want to, like Nip said, the highest human act is to inspire. And that's all I really want to do.
Education.
While I'm here.
Right.
Man, so and on that note, man, what is the importance of education to today's world?
Oh, man.
In your eyes.
It's so key. I believe in mentorship, right? Because education, a lot of people have a very small view of what education is and is supposed to be, right? When you become a mentor, there are things that people learn without you having to articulate that. There are things that people pick up from you without you lecturing them. You know what I'm saying? So mentorship is key. Like you could walk with a lawyer, and get his coffee and help him take notes, and you just picking up so much more game than you would if he sat there and talked to you and just tried to tell you about it.
Yes.
So that's the type of thing that I'm in. That's the kind of education I'm big on, taking somebody up under your wing. Like if you come to my video shoots, it's a couple young people at every video shoot. And a lot of times they'll be like, hey, what you need? Move my car, boom. Or do this, can you go run to the store? And some of them are former students, some of them are my nephews and nieces. But the key thing is like the true education is what you gain from being a disciple to somebody that's living the life you want to live. You know what I'm saying? So that's my view.
Do you feel by any chance that there is a gap between white and black America?
There are differences.
Right.
There are differences. I think the biggest thing that happened as a result of colonization is they altered our value system. Like that's why Kanye said they made us hate ourselves and love their wealth. That's why shorty's out hollering where the ball is at. Right? If we were never told we're supposed to have a certain type of lifestyle,
right?
How much more would we be in love with ourselves? Because we still in love with ourselves. when we honest with ourselves, like black people, Latinos, like if it's a backyard function, we not thinking of where else we supposed to be. We right there, like this is where it's at. And low key, it's people with money that's looking at us do that on TV, and they're like, dang, that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
so
come on.
So true, there's a disparity between who owns land, who's passing on wealth. Those are the things that we're working on.
That part.
But at the same time, the value system, like it's a fair exchange. We got plenty that we can teach other people in the same way that when we go to these third world countries, there's so much we can learn by how they live because they happy right where they are. And the real gold is being happy. It's not really attaining stuff. People attain stuff and never get happiness.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that value, having an aligned value system that makes you really happy. And a lot of how we get down, how we move as a culture still got that.
I'm glad you mentioned culture, which goes into my last question before we close up. What role did your parents play in inspiring you in music?
Man, I had the most supportive parents that anyone could have, bro. Like, I gotta mention my uncle. My uncle Andrew dropped off a whole studio at our house. Like, he decided he wanted all new equipment from cables, computers, the MPC, the Planet Fat, the MoFat, the Alesis Nano Bass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my goodness.
Like, Cubase.
Come on,
you know what I'm saying? Like
your first
CD
software,
drive, your Tascam,
Oh, wow.
So he dropped off all of that. But my parents,
yes,
they let us make all the noise in the world. Like when we was excited about karate, they bought us punching bags and headgear and footgear and
family
nunchucks.
Support.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's the role of parents. You know what I'm saying? Like give kids the avenue to fully explore what they showing interest in. And so they for sure did that. In addition to mom sitting with us and teaching us, pops driving us everywhere, picking us up, dropping us off at karate. You know what I'm saying? Pops taking us to sessions and all that stuff, sitting with us. So I think that's really key. My parents were the best educators I ever saw, and they informed how because I did damn near 10 years in the classroom, teaching Spanish, teaching music recording, all kind of stuff, financial literacy. But my parents informed, in addition to some of the black male teachers I had that I was like, man, you cool as heck, They informed what kind of teacher I wanted to be, so, and I'm still a teacher, you feel me? Just in a different capacity.
Yeah, you are. Right. You're a teacher to me, man.
Hey,
you're a teacher to us all, man.
No, that's for sure.
And we want to bring you back to the show, man, because there's so much pillars and layers of your contribution, and you as the artist, producer, and Grammy-nominated producer as well for the new
thanks
for
to
the
you.
album.
Thanks
Come
to you.
on,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying? We both Grammy nominated. You know it.
Oh my goodness, man! You see this, Monica?
I'm over here sitting with two great, amazing men, some
me?
kings. Okay, period.
Man, trust I know
man.
Man, so man, we appreciate you, man, and we appreciate you being a part of this podcast. This is new for us. This is new to the world. I think it's so mandatory that we give you this. It's word of mouth. It's word of mouth podcast. This is my beautiful host and partner, Monica. And I am the legendary DJ Battlecat. Thank you for having me.
My name is D Smoke.
Right.
D, and I'm sitting here with the legendary DJ Battlecat.
That part.
Monica Parra.
Muchas gracias por estar aquí.
Gracias, es mi placer. La próxima vez vamos a hablar completamente en español.
¿En español o qué?
Sí,
vamos a hacerlo.
Alguien va a tener que traducir para él porque no nos va a entender, pero está bien.
I can't even say it, going back and forth with Spanish and English. We're going to get you a translator. That's what he's saying. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
On that note, thank you again for
this
beautiful edition and episode of Word of Mouth Podcast. And we'll see you soon again.
Right.
Till the next time, we love you. Peace, love, and happiness.
Period.
Peace.